And then I will say welcome to everyone who is joining us now online and to Tracy Daniels, our guest. My name is Anthony Quinn, and I'm the Chief Community and Benefits Officer here at CARP, the Canadian Association of Retired Persons. And we're delighted to bring you another CARP National webinar. We're encouraging everyone who's logging in now to go into the chat function and let us know where in the country you're looking in from. It seems like we've got over 100 participants right now logging in, and they're representing from right across the country. So please do try that in the chat function. Let us know where you are. And this is a place where we're asking you to share your questions. Mary Lynn is online standing by to answer your questions from Emerald in real time, and I'll be monitoring those questions as well. And if there's a theme or something that we want to have Tracy answer, we'll get to that as well too. So with that, let's get started. I'll formally introduce myself. Once again, I'm Anthony Quinn. I'm the Chief Community and Benefits Officer at CARP, and I'm delighted to have with me Tracy Daniels from Emerald Cruises. Welcome, Tracy.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
So I'll put it back onto you and ask you to introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about yourself, what you do, and maybe some of your favorite destinations that you've been to with Emerald.
Excellent. Would be happy. Yes, welcome everyone. So as Anthony mentioned, my name is Tracy Daniels. I've been with Emerald Cruises now for 5 years, and I've had the opportunity to sail on 9 river cruises throughout Europe, and as well as on our beautiful luxury yacht. And I can tell you, all fantastic experiences with river cruising. Love Europe, so much history. The architecture over there is just incredible. The culture, the food, I could go on and on. But I think I can't really say a favorite, but I love the concept of river cruising because of the little hidden gems, little towns and villages that we get to visit that on a different type of European trip you may not visit. So it's those hidden gems that I absolutely love when you're sailing with Emerald Cruises.
Well, thank you very much, Tracy, for joining us today. Welcome. And I did want to just reference, I know a lot of our registrants will have seen you 2 weeks ago when we were talking about scenic cruises. So tell me a little bit about the connection between scenic and Emerald, and just some of the things we might hear differently today about Emerald that we didn't hear from scenic.
Yes, so we are part of the Scenic Group. So we're a privately owned Australian company. So sister brands, Emerald Cruises, we launched in 2014. Scenic itself has been existent for 38 years now. So a lot of history, a lot of experience with our company, sailing on the rivers in Europe as well as on the oceans. With Emerald Cruises on the rivers, we've got 9 beautiful starships and 3 luxury yachts sailing in the warm waters on the oceans. So lots of product with us, and absolute incredible service and experience on board with us.
The 2 terrific brands. I just wanted to say that, you know, CARP partners with brands and service providers who meet our high standards of quality. We have sort of a 3-fold process of vetting potential partners who are interested in speaking to CARP members. First of all, they have to be a best-in-class operation, and that's certainly true with Scenic and Emerald. They have to provide a substantial discount to CARP members, so participating with one of our benefit partners is certain to offset the cost of membership in CARP for sure. And then last but not least, they have to promise to go above and beyond when it comes to customer service for CARP members. So this could be in any category, but should there be any concerns about the service or quality of something they've experienced in one of our partnerships, they can escalate those issues to us at CARP and let us know so that we are sure to be working with the best partners. So we're delighted to have Emerald here today, Tracy. So can you tell us a bit about how Emerald offers something specific or unique to CARP members, and what can we expect when expressing interest in Emerald Cruises? What's the distinction that our members will find with Emerald?
Yeah, well, we've been very fortunate to win many awards for both our river and our ocean yachts. So definitely that's one of our strengths is, again, these awards coming from our clients, our guests that have been on board. Great inclusions, as you can see, the awards that we've been recognized for. So again, the service as well as our beautiful ships. So a variety of awards in both of those categories. So fantastic to experience that. But again, why do guests choose Emerald Cruises? Again, our beautiful ships. It's a wonderful, intimate experience, sailing on the rivers as well as on the oceans with our intimate floating hotels, really. So again, it's a beautiful way to travel through into the heart of some of these destinations, as well as the generous inclusions that our guests will receive sailing with us. And again, it's nice to be with a group of, on the rivers, between 84 and 180 guests, and on the oceans between 100 and 128 guests. So you really get to know your fellow travelers, all like-minded people and guests from around the world. So it's a wonderful way to connect with people all over the world. Our beautiful ships have all the amenities of a floating boutique hotel. So you've got all those comforts as well. But then it's again, those places that we can take you. So again, sailing on the rivers in Europe, you're sailing through the heart of Europe. And again, accessing where you're steps away from these beautiful towns and villages and larger cities as well. So it's a great mix that way. And again, the advantage with our yachts, again, a totally different ocean cruising experience, because again, we can get into these smaller ports and harbors that the large ocean ships cannot access. So completely different experience sailing with us. Again, you're right in the local life with the locals, experiencing everything. We've got daily excursions on the rivers. Every day you've got an included excursion. On the oceans, we've got some included excursions. We've also got what we call our Emerald Plus experiences that are also included. So these are more cultural type of activities. They could take place on board, such as in Portugal, we'll do a Portuguese tile painting class where we'll bring on a local artist to teach us how to do that. We may have a wine expert come on board, do a wine tasting, or we may be off the ship doing an experience like a home-hosted coffee and cake in Bratislava. So there's a variety of these incorporated to every itinerary that we offer, as well as some local entertainment. Again, ties in that local culture for our guests to really immerse themselves in the destinations that we visit. Another great thing with Emerald Cruises is our active program. So we have an activity manager on board our river ships. So based on guest feedback that have asked for ways of exploring these ports and destinations that we visit, but in a more active way. So we will offer stretching classes for our guests that are interested in doing that, but we also have bikes. So another way that guests can explore the beautiful ports that we visit from a different vantage point. So as well on our yachts, we've got our beautiful e-bikes that guests are free to use, and we will have some guided bike tours as well. So lots of a variety of ways of exploring on our Emerald Cruises. We also have, again, guests have that freedom to to choose how they wish to explore. So some places we do offer some optional Discover More tours for an additional fee, just for those that are wanting to explore a little bit further. But you'll always, on the rivers, always have an included excursion at every port. So again, lots of opportunity for guests to explore how they wish in these beautiful places that we visit.
Tracy, these are so different than, you know, what comes to mind when I think of cruising. I've never been on a cruise myself, but I always think of the massive ships in ports of call with ships lined up to get into a small port. So different, the ruse and the small ship yacht cruises. Is it typical? Are these typical cruises, or is this unique in the industry?
Yeah, so again, our type of cruising is very unique. So river cruising and our yacht cruising, very different than the mass market large ocean ships that have thousands of guests. We have a maximum of 180 guests on our river ships and up to 128 guests on our ocean yacht. So very, very different. And again, that advantage of no lineups, no queues, the ease of getting on and off our ships, and the hidden ports, the little hidden gem ports that we can visit that aren't going to have those big ships there with thousands of people. So you really get to feel more like a local than a tourist.
So you've got the small ship yachts and you have the river cruises. How does one decide between one or the other?
There's a lot of different ways. I would say where the destination where you want to go is obviously a big factor. So on the rivers, we sail all through Europe. Seasonality will be another factor. The European season for river cruising basically starts up the end of March, goes through to the end of October, and then we have our Christmas markets that start up the end of November into December. So again, different themes, different highlights throughout the season as well. So depending on if you're wanting to go during tulip season, if you're wanting to go during the Christmas markets, you know, all of those factors come into play that way. On the oceans, we sail to warm water destinations. So again, depending time of year, in our winter, we're down in the Caribbean. For the Canadians' winter, we're down in the Caribbean. And in spring, summer, fall, we're over in the Mediterranean. So wherever you're wanting to go, we've got a fantastic cruise to take you on.
So let's talk about wherever we want to go. Let's talk about some of the destinations and where can we go on river cruises, for example?
Sure. So I'll just quickly go through our river ships just to give you a bit of a viewpoint of the fantastic starship. So on the rivers, nice, again, you really are immersed, very social atmosphere. So heart and soul of the ship, you'll be spending a lot of time here is on the Horizon Bar and Lounge. Entertainment will take place there in the evening, but on our river ships, uniqueness is having an indoor heated pool at the back of the ship. So a nice area just to relax in, nice quiet area as well. But we can also turn this into a cinema some evenings. So we'll watch, pull down a screen, move the chairs around, and it's movie night. So giving guests an alternative to whatever taking place in the lounge area as well. Our beautiful Emerald Harmony ship sails in on the Mekong River in Southeast Asia. A beautiful ship of 84 guests, so nice intimate atmosphere there. Great way to explore this fascinating destination. We've got a nice cool pool outside because it is a hot destination. So great area there for guests to relax in. Wonderful dining experience. We've got a reflections restaurant, so all your meals, of course, are included. You've got complimentary wine, beer, and soft drinks included on the rivers with lunch and dinner. Stylish suites and staterooms. The majority of our suites are these beautiful panorama balcony suites, floor to ceiling windows, touch of a button allows that nice fresh air and beautiful views of the scenery, of the rivers that you're sailing on. And of course, best views take place up on the top deck, on our sun deck, where you've got the 360-degree views of the beautiful scenery, shaded area. So this is a great spot to be in as well. There's a walking track so you can get your steps in as well. And then just moving over to our beautiful yachts. This is our Emerald Azura and Emerald Sakara, identical ships with a maximum of 100 guests. And we've got our Emerald Kaya that will be coming out in springtime of 2026 with 128 guests. So really a yachting experience. I wouldn't even call it cruising, it's yachting because of the intimate size. Beautiful facilities here with the aqua pool. We've got an infinity pool at the aft. Up top on the sky deck, a nice spa pool there to relax in, a great spot to have a cocktail in hand as you sail away at sunset. Beautiful areas on board as well. Our Michi Bar and Lounge, nice area to relax in. La Cucina restaurants for some incredible dining experience, as well as al fresco dining out on the terrace area there. So lots of space. Again, is the key for the small number of guests that are on board. So very intimate atmosphere for our guests to enjoy. As well on our yachts will be anchored just off some of these fantastic little ports. So we've got a marina platform that we can set up for guests to enjoy the beautiful warm waters that we are sailing through. And once again, another stylish suites and accommodations, depending on your traveling preferences. We've got a nice range of accommodation choices for our guests to enjoy.
Those river ships and the small yachts have been stationed outside some beautiful destinations in those images you were showing. But let's go through some of those itineraries and let us know where you might go on a river ship, and then perhaps on a where does the yacht travel to?
Absolutely. So I'll start off with the rivers. So a lot of great choices, a lot of rivers. So we sail through continental Europe there on the Rhine, Main, and the Danube River. So that's the longest river that you can see there on the map. And then we sail in the south of France, as well as in northern Portugal. So lots of great choices and lots of variety in the lengths of itineraries. So depending on the time that you've got to travel, lots of great options. Our most popular rivers are the Rhine and the Danube River. So can't go wrong choosing either of those options. Our most popular itinerary is a 15-day option, our Splendors of Europe. It sails from Amsterdam to Budapest. On this one, you are sailing on the Rhine as well as the Danube. So you're covering both of the most popular rivers over in Europe. It's a fantastic way to travel. Of course, you're sailing through 5 different countries. You'll be visiting 4 capital cities. And then you'll see some little towns and villages. You may not have heard of these little towns and villages. Again, the great advantage of going on a river cruise and visiting some of these real gems in Europe. So fantastic itinerary. You can start in Amsterdam and in Budapest, or sail in the opposite direction. You'll always have an included excursion. And then we have some of those included Emerald Plus experiences, more cultural type of activities, and our included active excursions. So again, you have that freedom to explore how you wish, which is absolutely fantastic. Some of the highlights on this itinerary will be Passau. So this is located on the Danube rivers. It's called the kind of the city of 3 rivers, because you've got 3 rivers converging right here on this beautiful city. You'll see the Austrian Alps in the background as well. You'll have a visit to the Melk Abbey. So a nice little town along the Danube River, and then perched up on the hill is this massive, beautiful Benedictine Abbey, where you can have the included guided tour of, which is spectacular. And a lot of these, this itinerary as well, you can experience during the Christmas market season. So again, long time that you have to choose to travel on this itinerary. But perhaps you don't have that 15 days. We do have shorter segments. So you can sail just on the Rhine or just on the Danube. So here's an example of one of the 8-day itineraries on the Rhine River. So this would be sailing Amsterdam down to Basel, Switzerland. Again, you can do it in the reverse direction. And we also have included airport transfers on your cruise days. So this is a great way of making your trip seamless. Your cruise will end in Basel, Switzerland, and we'll transport our guests to the airport in Zurich for your return flight home. And these are all included, which is a fantastic way. And again, you don't have to worry about how you're going to get to the airport and all of those little details. It's all taken care of for you. On the Rhine River, some of the highlights is the UNESCO World Heritage listed Rhine Gorge. So this is going to be a nice afternoon sailing time, so you can have a comfortable seat on the sun deck where you can get the 360-degree views, because you're going to see castles and fortresses on either side of the riverbank. But just a lot of history and a lot of wonderful highlights sailing through this stretch. So definitely one of the exciting days on the Rhine River. Also on the Rhine, another popular stop is in Strasbourg. This is actually in France. So you're going to cross the border into France for the day. But as you can see, just stunning scenery here. You've got the canals running through the city, the half-timbered houses. So just, again, a beautiful little city to explore. We also have some 8-day itineraries just on the Danube. And of course, on the Danube, you've got those beautiful highlights of Budapest and Vienna. Those are must-visit places, so lots of itinerary options that you can visit those must-visit cities as well. And then heading over to the south of France, we've got a great sailing in the south of France on the Saône and Rhone rivers, sailing from Lyon to Arles, or you can do it in the opposite direction as well. A lot of different interests here, so perfect for foodies, perfect for wine lovers, and a lot of Roman history as well down in the south of France. So lots of different interest levels here. And again, you see the variety of highlights of those included excursions in the different places, the more cultural Emerald Plus inclusions that we offer, and those active excursions. So again, perfect way to explore however you wish, whatever means you wish to do so. Lyon is the gastronomical capital of France, so perfect for our foodies that will love Lyon. One of my favorites in this region is Avignon. Beautiful walled city, less than a 10-minute walk from the ship, so very easy access. Again, you're in the heart of these towns and cities that we visit, and you'll have a full day to explore beautiful Avignon. In the evening, one of the highlights is we bring on a local top chef who prepares a nice traditional French Provençal dinner for all of our guests. So a definite highlight in Avignon. We're really excited to be welcoming, we've got a celebrity hosted cruise in the south of France next April. So we have Chef Michael Bonaccini, who is a nice Toronto restaurateur. So maybe familiar to many of you. Hopefully you maybe sailed on one of our celebrity hosted sailings. Chef Bonaccini is part of the Emerald Cruises family. He's sailed with us in the south of France already. So it's great to have him back. He sailed with us in Portugal, and he sailed on our Emerald yachts, both in the Mediterranean and the Caribbean. So he is part of our Emerald Cruises family now. Next April in 2025, we're excited to have him sailing along with his son, Oscar. So Oscar as well as in the restaurant business. So we're gonna have the Bonaccini family on board with us. They're gonna prepare a nice special dinner for all of our guests. and some special excursions and activities on board as well. So definitely these are popular sailings when we have our celebrity hosted cruises. So definitely time to book now if you are interested, so that you can get a cabin before it sells out. And then the last destination over in Europe is in Portugal, in northern Portugal on the beautiful Douro River. So this itinerary is very different than all the other rivers that we've sailed on, much slower pace, very laid back, kind of goes with the type of experience over in Portugal where time stands still. It's a really nice, beautiful place to cruise. And again, you're not going to have the big city centers and capital cities in this stretch. So that's why it's much different than the Rhine and the Danube. You're sailing through the UNESCO World Heritage listed Rhine Douro Valley. A lot of wine production here, so you're going to enjoy the scenery of the terraced vineyards that we're sailing past. We're going to be taking you to some small towns and villages. So absolutely wonderful experience there in northern Portugal. So lots of great options in Europe. And we have some fantastic, more adventurous river cruising over in Southeast Asia. On the Mekong River, we sail a 7-night cruise on the Mekong. We have introduced a 9-night option on select months throughout the year. But over in Southeast Asia, it's more of a land and cruise type of itinerary. So you'll have that 7 or 9-night cruise, river cruise on the Mekong, and then you'll have some land touring. So a great way to really explore this region of the world. And again, you're going to have those included excursions, Emerald Plus inclusions that you can see there. So great variety of experiences. Great thing again with Emerald Cruises is a lot of our ships have been purpose built for the river. So our Emerald Harmony ship sails right into Ho Chi Minh City. So again, gets our guests closer to these city centers and saves them time and more time that they have to explore. Definite highlight sailing in the Southeast Asia region is visiting the Angkor Wat temple complex. Impressive grounds here. So again, one of the highlights, and again, going to the Southeast Asia, you're going there for the people and the culture. So absolutely warm, friendly, and more adventurous type of experience over in Southeast Asia. Then I'll just move.
I was going to say, Anne has just given us an unsolicited testimonial saying she just came back from the 17-day trip on the Mekong. Incredible! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! So.
That's what I hear from all of our guests that have sailed there. It's a really moving experience too, I think, because you are connecting with the people that are just so moving and wonderful and just grateful for everything that they have. So it is a great destination.
And how's the pace of the lifestyle versus Europe to Southeast Asia? What's the difference from the cruiser's experience?
So again, you're not going to have the same city tours, right? So they will be more. So the excursions, you could be on a Vespa bike going through the city of Ho Chi Minh City, or there's a lot of life on the rivers. So you could be in a boat going to some of the local markets, visiting some of the local schools. So it is very different than the more structured and the infrastructure that's in place in Europe. That's for sure. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So now I'll head over to our incredible destinations that we sail on our beautiful Emerald Yacht cruises. So again, only 100 guests or up to 128 on our new Emerald Kaya sailings. We go to warm water destinations on our yachts. So the Mediterranean is where our 2 yachts are at the moment. So enjoying a nice long season there, sailing French, Italian Riviera, Greek island hopping, the Croatia and Turkish coastlines. So again, beautiful spot there. In the winter, our yachts will be back in the Caribbean. But again, for any ocean cruisers that are watching this, a very different cruising experience. This will be yachting in the Caribbean. We're not going to be going to the big islands where you're going to have those big ships in port. Ports, you're not gonna see those Diamond International shops at the islands that we're stopping at. You're going to feel more like a local than a tourist. Fantastic way to travel. And then in our 25-26 seasons, we'll be heading to the Seychelles Islands off the east coast of Africa. So I'll just give you a couple of examples of some of the itineraries, starting over in the Mediterranean, where our yachts are right now. Lots of different itinerary options, and as well doing back-to-back. So I'll show you some of those combination type of itineraries that for those looking to sail a little bit longer. This is a popular one, of course, the Côte d'Azur region in the south of France, the Italian coastline. This is a really nice one, a nice 8-day cruise of French and Italian Rivieras, as well as Corsica. That again, we can get into some small ports. You're getting off the ship with a maximum of 100 guests. So that experience itself, when you're looking to sail in the Mediterranean, is completely different than other types of cruising. We'll go to some small places like beautiful Menton in France. Portofino, again, you can pretend you're with the rich and famous here in this popular seaside port in off the coast of Italy. But just, again, some little different ones that you may not find on itineraries with the large ocean cruises, or maybe you've been to the Med on a large ocean ship. Great way to go back and experience from our yachts, again, getting into some of these coastal towns and beautiful ports with ease is the key thing. Some of these places as well, such as Bonifacio, where we have to enter in reverse. So again, large ships aren't going to be able to go to these places, but we can because of the intimate size of our beautiful yacht. So some really great and different ways to explore Europe. We have some included excursions on our yacht itineraries, and we've got those active excursions as well. So we may offer some guided hikes or some guided bike tours as well, and these are all included. So again, a great way to get off the beaten track and explore as well. We've got some great city extensions and city stays. So for instance, that itinerary that I just mentioned stops in the port closest to Rome, Civitavecchia. So you can add on an extension to extend your stay in some of these larger places that we start or end on. So lots of great ways of putting that together. The Croatia coastline. Yes, sorry, go ahead, Anthony.
Just on the extensions, that was my question on the river cruise. Is it common for someone to maybe spend a few days in Amsterdam or Rome and either at the beginning or the end of their cruising? That seems like a natural fit while you're there to extend a little bit.
There's lots of great ways of putting together your trip with your river cruise or your yacht cruise. So we do offer those extensions for those looking to spend. There's so many little great larger cities, right? So they definitely are worth spending a little extra time to really get the full experience of. So we do offer those on both the rivers and our yacht itineraries. Okay. Yeah, I found this so great way to enjoy. Another popular destination that we sail on the yachts is in the Croatia coastline, the Dalmatia coast. So this is a real popular destination. And again, we can hug the coastline with our yacht. So it's the perfect way to travel this beautiful area. Lots of national parks here, lots of active excursions that you can see here. And we're sailing out of Venice. And because of our size, we can sail right from the city center, which now with the restrictions in Venice, you have to dock, the large ships have to dock outside of the city center. So another advantage of sailing in this region on our beautiful yachts. And again, beautiful stops. This is Korčula. It's kind of known as the Little Dubrovnik. beautiful coastal towns and resort towns as well. So you'll have some cosmopolitan places, you'll have some national parks to explore, and we've got different experience that we've got included for our guests enjoying. But again, these little harbors that we can access and take our guests to, you're getting on and off with ease, without the lineups, without the crowds. Perfect way to explore Europe. Now we do offer, for those guests that want to cruise a little bit longer than 8 days, we have 15-day itineraries where we've combined the cruise either before or after the one that you might be looking at. So we've got a lot of these great options, such as this one here. And this one, we're sailing round trip from Venice or Dubrovnik, but we're not repeating a port. So they're all unique stops. So a perfect way to really immerse yourself in this region of the Aegean Sea here and the Adriatic. Again, really immerse yourself into some of these little coastal towns and villages. And for those looking to do some Greek island hopping, perfect way to do that is on board our Emerald yachts. Again, we'll go to those must-visit islands such as Mykonos, but then we're going to take you to some of the smaller ones. Again, just as beautiful as the well-known ones that are well-known because of the ocean ships can only go to those ones. We can take you to some other smaller islands, again, away from the crowds. Beautiful way to explore the islands and the coast of Turkey. And again, another example of a 15-day option that you can do, 2 itineraries put together as well. And then our last destination with our yachts is in the Caribbean. So again, I know probably a lot of the viewers have sailed in the Caribbean before, but I can tell you, sailing on our yacht is a completely different experience. I had the opportunity this past winter to sail on our Emerald yacht, and I felt like I had never been to the Caribbean before. It was so different than any of my other large ocean cruises in the Caribbean. And it's because of the size of our yacht. We're taking you to small islands, St. Vincent, the Grenadines, St. Lucia, Bequia, Tobago Keys, all these little places that you might not have heard of. But again, it's because the mainstream ocean cruising can't get there. So this is a fantastic way to escape our Canadian winters. And for those that love cruising, this is a yacht cruise, again, taking you to some real amazing islands where you're going into port. You're feeling like a local as opposed to a tourist. So we've got different itineraries into different islands in the Caribbean. So definitely, if you're looking for this winter, now's the time to book, because again, we've only got 50 staterooms on our yachts, and they fill up. So absolutely great way to plan your winter ahead now.
Well, winter is certainly coming, not something we can avoid here in Canada, but the small ships and the river cruises, they do fill up quickly. So how far in advance would someone have to plan to get able to take advantage of these cruises?
So for the rivers right now, we have our itineraries open until the end of 2025 in Europe, until springtime of 2026. And again, it's a popular way of traveling, and the ships Europe have a maximum of 180 guests. That's it. On our yachts, as I mentioned, only 100 guests. So they do fill up quite quickly, and definitely now is when you need to be planning your trip. Again, just so you can get the departure date that you want, the itinerary you want. And we've got different stateroom choices too. So planning ahead gives you all those advantages.
A reminder that anyone who's watching now live can go into the chat function in the toolbar at the bottom of your screen and type any questions you may have about what you've seen or other questions about cruising. Mary Lynn is online here from Emerald, and she'll be answering your questions in real time. So please do ask those questions. So Tracy, let's get into what are the, I see Emerald Plus there. What does Emerald Plus mean? And what is the Emerald loyalty program I've heard about? How does that affect the quality of the experience for your cruisers?
Yeah, absolutely. And these are just, again, those generous inclusions that all of our guests will receive. So it's not just your regular included excursion that we offer, but we have some different types of experiences, just again to immerse our guests in the local places that we visit and interacting with the locals. So for instance, this picture here, the gentleman is from Bratislava. We take our guests for a nice home hosted afternoon coffee and cake. So you get to see, you know, where they are. You learn about their family life, their houses, and they're just wonderful to share their beautiful experiences. So again, lots of different ways of exploring that we have included for our guests. And we appreciate our guests, such as Anne that just sailed with us over in the Mekong. Once you've sailed with us, you're automatically enrolled with our Emerald Explorer loyalty program. And with that comes benefit and savings on your next cruise, as well as some refer a friend vouchers that you can pass on for some additional savings for your friends to experience Emerald Cruises as well.
Well, and the Emerald Plus that you mentioned, is that additional fees or is that included in the price?
Those are included. So again, a nice variety of options of ways of exploring.
So I know what I'd be interested in, the itineraries that you've laid out. I think I'd like to see Southeast Asia. I've never been there, but what are some of the biggest bucket list trips on people's minds today? And maybe what are some that you might want to put on their radar that might not be in the comment in the news or in the conversations with their friends? You're the expert on travel, Tracy. What are you recommending?
Hearing and seeing from our guests, they're looking to travel longer. So our 15-day itinerary, our Amsterdam to Budapest, that's our most popular itinerary. You know, everybody's has missed traveling, and it's, you know, a long flight over the Atlantic to get to Europe, so they're looking to spend more time in destination. So we're definitely seeing a lot of interest in our longer itineraries, adding those land extensions on as well. And the Rhine and the Danube, as I mentioned, most popular rivers that we are definitely selling for sure.
Question here from Erica just popped in. Can you tell us a bit more about the Cambodia Vietnam cruises, about the boat or the ship, and about the accommodations?
Sure. Our beautiful Emerald Harmony, 86 guests, a little bit larger ship than our ships that are sailing on the waterways of Europe. We don't have the same locks and bridges over on the Mekong. Beautiful, incredible accommodations. The ship has been built to European standards, which is something unique to some of the other vessels over in this region. Our staff, absolutely phenomenal. We have a operations team locally based in Southeast Asia. So we've got support on the ground, and again, years of experience of touring in this region. We've got basically 3 different itineraries that you can book. So the one that I showed you in earlier covers the southern portion of Vietnam as well as Cambodia, but you can do another one that has the southern portion and northern Vietnam, sailing in beautiful Halong Bay, which is highly recommended if you can add the northern Vietnam onto your itineraries. The third itinerary will have the south, the north, as well as the central region of Vietnam. So again, you've got 3 different options depending on how long you've got to travel with us, but all great options in this region. A little bit more adventurous style as well, because some of you don't have the same infrastructure like you would in Europe. So some of the ports that we're coming up to, you definitely need to be more mobile. Let's just say you might be walking up the riverbank as opposed to a nice, beautiful gangway that you might have in Europe. So just definitely different styles in between
Would
Europe.
the dining in the Asian cruising, would that be dining on Asian cuisine, or would it be Western cuisine?
Both. So a great opportunity that you'll definitely have wherever we travel on the river. So whether it's in Europe or Southeast Asia, a lot of regional cuisine. So that's another great benefit of sailing through, trying the different food from the different countries that we're sailing on. But again, we always have our Emerald standards as well. So you can get in Southeast Asia, if you'll always be able to get a steak or, grilled chicken or all of those North American foods as well. So, and again, anybody with dietary restrictions, definitely just let your travel advisor know when you're making the booking, and our culinary team will definitely work with you.
Another question we've heard from members when we talk about travel is about environmental sustainability. So how does Emerald work to ensure that they're leaving the smallest footprint possible?
Absolutely. So definitely an important part of our company. So we've got our Cherish the Planet program that kind of looks at all ways and all parts of the way the company operates, whether corporately or on board experience, as well as the build of our ships. So we've got lots of different ways. Just a couple of examples: how we have eliminated single-use plastics on board. So again, that we used to hand out plastic water bottles on every tour. So now guests will receive a refillable water bottle, a nice insulated bottle. We've got water stations as well. You've got complimentary water replenished in your staterooms every day as well. Just a small example. Fresh air, so all of the air is brought in from the outside, so it's not recycled air either. And again, with the design of our ships, they've done it so that they're more efficient and better for the environment, as well as for the guest experience on board. So there's lots of ways that they're analyzing every aspect. Just again, so that we can protect our beautiful planet and travel for many, many more years to come.
Certainly different than those larger, gigantic ships, for sure. And lots of questions coming in. Solo travelers, single supplements. One of the biggest questions we get from older travelers: what can Emerald do for the solo traveler?
We love having our solo travelers on board on our ships as well. Our very innovative design our owner has done again on our Emerald River ships. So we have built 2 of these Emerald single staterooms on most of our ships, except for in Portugal and in Southeast Asia. So great for our single travelers. Solo traveling is very popular, again, because of the small number of guests on board. Very social atmosphere. Everybody makes connections quite easily. With Emerald Cruises on the rivers, we've got a fantastic no single supplement promotion. So on select departures, again, so if you wanted to upgrade to a stateroom that has a balcony, for instance, or maybe those single staterooms are already booked, great opportunity there as well for solo guests to travel with us without the incurring those single supplements.
And traveler safety. Next question we get after the solos travel. What can Emerald do, or what are the best advice you have for travelers in feedback there? I apologize. Any travelers who are concerned about their safety, what can Emerald tell them about that?
Well, we've definitely, again, being part of the Scenic group, we've been in the industry for over 3 decades. So we have that experience behind us, that we've been able to explore the places that we visit So ensuring our guest safety is definitely our top priority. We have a very seasoned and skilled crew that have sailed on these waters for many, many years, so they know the rivers that we're sailing on. The crew are first aid certified as well. If there's any emergency on the rivers, as you can see, we're always close to land, so we can get to guests off quite comfortably. Travel insurance, highly recommend purchasing as well for your protection that way as well. Definitely recommended to cover yourself that way.
Another issue important to members, perhaps age-related, but mobility and accessibility. I know that you're going through ancient cities in Europe, but how is the accessibility of the ships for passengers and on the tours and excursions?
Yeah, so again, broad topic there, just depending on the mobility restriction. Guests just need to be aware that we do have an elevator on board that takes you to the different decks that have the staterooms. However, it does not go up to the sun deck. Sometimes when we're docked, we share the docks with other ships. So sometimes we have what's called double docking, where you have to cross through or up over another ship that's docked beside us. So again, just to be aware of, you may need to go up a flight of stairs to cross over a sun deck to another ship. Each port that we stop at as well has a different type of gangway to get on and off. We have guests that bring on walkers. There are portable scooters. Again, there are some restrictions, so you do need to keep those in your staterooms. If you do need assistance, you do need to bring a traveling companion that can assist you getting on and off that way. Over in Southeast Asia, as I mentioned, it's a little bit more adventurous. Again, don't have the same infrastructure there. So again, best advice, talk to your travel advisor, just depending on your restriction, and they would be able to help kind of navigate through the different options. Of course, big tip when it comes to exploring in Europe, you have to have some comfortable walking shoes. Lots of cobblestone streets there to navigate, so you want to have happy feet with those comfortable shoes to explore.
One of your bullet points there is tipping. Is that related to the excursions or on board?
It is both. So another great benefit with Emerald Cruises, both on the rivers and on the oceans, our gratuities are included. So again, those generous inclusions that we've won awards on, where you've got all your meals that are included, you've got on the rivers, wine, beer, soft drinks included with lunch and dinner. On the oceans, all your drinks are included. You've got your included excursions on the rivers, some optional extras, airport transfers on your cruise days included. So great inclusions that way. But the gratuities, onboard crew and onshore tour guides every day included. So you don't have to worry about having euros and how much you need to tip, and it adds up at the end of your cruise. So that's all included with Emerald Cruises.
I'm just looking at our time, Tracy. We've asked an hour from our guests, so let's talk about what they do next. You've whetted the appetite, certainly. What next steps can people take to find out more, to actually start thinking about booking?
Absolutely. So again, we just highlighted some of our itineraries. We've got lots of great options available. So we've got printed brochures that you can order to be mailed to you. So you can either go on our website or contact your travel advisor to get a copy of them sent to you. And we definitely are excited to be partnering with CARP. And so our thanks as well. We are happy to be extending a special exclusive offer to CARP members. where you will save $150 per person on our river or our yacht cruises. And these are combinable with our great promotions that we have going to the general public. So this is an extra bonus savings just for CARP members. Important thing to note, when you're talking to your travel advisor, make sure you jot this down. The code that you can see there, CARP 24, and that's how you can get that CARP member offer applied to your next booking with us.
So with their own preferred travel agent, certainly, or directly with Emerald Cruises, they'll get the same offers.
Absolutely. Yep.
Right, and again, we'll be sharing a recording of this with everyone who is registered. So if you had to drop off early and you're watching us later on, and you can share this again with your friends or potential travel companions, might be a good way to entice them to join you on your cruise. Anything else we need to know, Tracy, before we log off?
We just look forward to welcoming you all on board with us to experience our fantastic way to travel on the rivers and the oceans.
Thanks very much, Tracy, for your time and your insight. The river and the yacht look really appealing and compelling. We encourage all of our members to find out more and do plan ahead, because these are small ships, and I don't want them to be disappointed if this is something that they're really interested in. So thanks again, Tracy, and thanks to Emerald. Look forward to talking to you again soon. Please stay tuned, members, for the next invitation to our national webinars. We're talking about benefits today, but we're always talking about something important to our members. We'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks, everyone. Take care.